I have endless DMs from these females. You see what I'm saying? Drex, you're an asshole. Oh my God, I can't believe you hate women. You should see my DMs. These chicks are sitting here sending all kinds of pictures. They're going ahead and popping the P open. You know how it is, right?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 42 of the Migtown podcast, your only weekly source for that killer weed. As usual, I'm producer Tim, and joining me is the mayor of Migtown. Say hi, Drex.
Hello, everybody in the world.
And also joining us in studio today, well, Chronic, go ahead, introduce yourself.
Hello, Migtown. This is Undead Chronic. Drex smoked a wacky blunt he found in the back of a Shell gas station, and the smoke formed avatar of Chronic before him with a microphone, and that is how I am in studio today.
We like it, man. We like it. We love it.
You know what? I've been a fan of Undead Chronic for quite a while. He you sometimes crash our live streams too. You come in there and you start trolling us.
Oh yes, it's always fun. I'll go on different people's streams, like talk some crazy shit in all caps and just bounce. It's just it's like you come in, you just I describe it like this. When I'm doing a lot more response videos and roast videos, I'm not going in. I'm not a sniper. All right, I have the flamethrowers akimbo, and I'm just spinning in 360. So I send a lot of friendly fire out, but most times if guys can take a joke and a roast, it's all good. It's almost like a sign of respect. They come to me burnt. They're like, "Hey man, I'm a fan of yours. Why'd you roast the shit out of me?" Like, "Oh, I'm sorry, man. Just a little friendly fire. It's all good. It's all good."
Well, it's funny you say that because, that just kind of shows a lack of masculinity. You know what I'm saying? Because you should, one of the ways that we bond is that I'll sit here and poke fun at you. I'll be like, yeah, Chronic, I'll poke a little fun at you. You poke a little fun at me. That's how guys bond. You know what I'm saying? We talk shit to each other. And, I remember being on Nick's show a long while back, and I was trying to find the name of a cuck. And I'm like, God damn it, I don't remember. And I will never forget. I look in the chat, I'm like, that's not Undead Chronic. That's not the Undead Chronic. I think you were on your 10th channel by then. And you're like, the cuck's name is Matt Shea. I'm like, Matt fucking Shea.
That guy.
Chronic,
Yes.
Here's why Matt Shea is beautiful to me. This is why. Matt
he does
Shea,
have a very feminine looking face.
This is what makes it great. Matt Shea represents everything we talk about, right? He's the ultimate cuck, beta simp, mangina, male feminist, right? So what happens is he's the kind of guy that tries to shame you with, it's all projection, right? He worships female validation, right? That's his whole existence. So when he shames you, what does a simp shame another man with, right? You're an incel. Chronic, you're an incel. So he was talking about you. And I just remember looking like, is this dude for real? And then sure enough, what happened? It was his wife. It wasn't even his girlfriend. That was his wife. Remember his wife was attractive, if I recall. I don't fully remember, but I remember his wife being attractive, right? And I remember going, yeah, she's pretty, whatever, right? And then Chronic, you and I both know how this goes. No woman wants a guy like Matt Shea, right? None. So what happened? Yeah. She cheated. She bounced. She left. And then see, now this is where those kind of guys wind up further hating guys like you and I. You see what I'm saying? Because now, and this goes back to what we just talked about before we hit the record button. When these guys get pushed up against reality, that's when it gets real, right? Like, because when you're going, but my lady's honor, and then all of a sudden, you walk in on her getting spit roasted. Now what? You see what I'm saying? That now, what guys like me, you, Taylor the Fiend, shout out to him by the way, Ribby, shout out to him by the way. And Manic, Warband guys, Hammerhand.
I'm drinking for Ribby's honor.
Yeah.
Good. Hey, I'll tell him.
Well, Chronic, we talk about these things, right? We've observed enough, we've seen enough, we've done enough to be like, yo, man, this is what's really going on out here, right? Like, and one of the things is if you notice, guys have an outdated playbook, right? Guys are still operating like it's 1956? Like, oh, well, Chronic, what you got to do to get a lady, you got to take her to dinner. You got to open doors and be nice. Look, man, that shit ain't working in 2021, fam. You know what I'm saying? You try that and you'll end up being friend zoned forever. You see what I'm saying?
it's kind of funny. Like, we got a saying. I'm not sure. I've heard it before. I'm not sure we coined it. But you got to treat ladies like hoes and hoes like ladies. So when you
Yep.
see like a dude opening a door for a hoe, you know for a fact that she has, couple cc's of zinc already down the esophagus, and there's going to be more to
Absolutely.
come. Because it's kind of like, as you're doing it as a joke, like, oh, I got the door for you, girl.
Yeah, look, here's the thing, Chronic. I've done it. I've been the dude knowing all the stuff that I know. Because here's the thing, you and I both know it throws them off balance, right? When you go open a door, or like pull out a chair and stuff, they kind of have this look like, huh? Chivalry? Like they've heard about this, right? They've watched all these hoes watch The Notebook. You see what I'm saying? They've heard about chivalry, but they've never really experienced it. So what happens is you're savage in one breath, then you're like, chivalrous the next breath. You're apathetic the next breath. It keeps them on edge, right? They don't know what. Oh my god! Oh shit! I'm shifting. I don't know where this is going. I'm going along for the ride.
They're
Yeah.
starved, Drex, because then they're like, well, he's only being nice to me because he wants in my pants, and it's like,
Yep.
Exactly.
Well, thing is the thing. You don't have to even, and this is something that guys like Chronic and I know, is that you don't have to do the thirst way to try to get in. It's like, dude, all you have to do is just not be thirsty, and you're gonna smash. The thirsty dudes are the ones that are out here paying. I ain't paying for these hoes. They're not getting dinner. They're not getting drinks. They're not nothing. So what that's telling you then, Chronic, is that the guys who are doing these things for these females, right? They're out here for these 304s talking about I got to do this, that, and the other to get laid. I'm like, bro, if you just didn't care about her, she's going to be like this. Oh my God, I thought I was hot shit. This guy doesn't seem to care about me. I want to appease him in all ways possible, all tree holes, right? She's going to want to appease you because she wants to know, why are you not so into her, right? If you sit there and simp, she's like, oh, this guy is beneath me. And these guys don't understand that, man.
Yeah, well, it's kind of what you're signaling is how much female attention do you have in your life? Because if you're going to spend every waking hour and ounce of energy pursuing one woman, she knows that you don't have a lot of options. You don't have a lot of female attention in your life. She thinks, well, if all the other females don't really assess this guy worthy of attention, he obviously isn't worth it for me, so that's unattractive. Whereas if you kind of just ignore her or treat her like trash or just act like she's not worth shit to you, she thinks subconsciously, my pussy's made of gold. Yeah. And he doesn't give a shit. There's got to be diamond lipped pussy out here that he's getting a ton of. I need to try extra hard to get on this guy.
That's right.
That's like kind of like the basal kind of functioning. Most women I've experienced, like 99% of the women at the club are like that. The ones who won't really operate like that are the ones I would say are under the strict dictate of religion and culture. Right? Like some Amish bitch isn't going to be out there thinking that, Farmer Joe's son is look at this other milkmaid. I got to like take my titties out. No, because there's punishment and cultural shame associated with them acting a hoe. But we've removed all that. So now we have degenerate slurs, STDs. So here's a great stat. Herpes in women has like tripled in the past 10 years. Hasn't changed in men. That kind of signals that, hey, they're all sharing the same couple dudes that are passing it around.
Yep. Absolutely. And, I saw that was your video that you put out tonight. I saw that you had a certain 304 as the cover, as your the cover of that video. And
what's his name? What is it? Oh, wait.
Yeah,
she sings like she's like overdosing on fentanyl.
Oh, Billie Eilish.
That bitch. Yes.
Yep. Yeah. I've never actually heard one of her songs. I don't listen to modern music because it's all garbage. But Chronic, you are going on your now 14th channel, right? Mm-hmm. And like I said, I think by the time I found out who you were, this had to have been nearly 3 years ago. I don't remember what channel you were on by then, and obviously, I'm gonna smash Susan to get you in TFM to not get channels taken down. But Chronic, I got a question for you. What is the most ridiculous reasons that you've gotten for being banned?
So what's unfortunate is they don't really tell you. So like you'll appeal it and they'll give you a generic like hate speech or whatever, but they don't give you a timestamp in the video. But when you report someone's video, you can put a timestamp in it and report the comment. But they don't really share that with who you're getting, I think. So bringing up Matt Shea again. So the whole thing was I made a response to the Gillette video.
Yep.
Laughing at the cucklets over there. Matt Shea, he's a gaming YouTuber. He's like a Minecraft YouTuber for little kids because they relate to him because he's a little kid in the face.
Yep.
He made some like little political commentary channel with like 60, 70K subs. And his second video on it, he tried to come at the guys talking about Gillette and called me a bunch of incels, talked about his wife, kind of flexing about his wife.
Yep.
And I responded to him. And then I was just like, I'll give it a year. Your wife's going to divorce you. Get divorced. I make a video titled Matt Shea Divorce Party. No strikes on the channel. The whole channel gets removed the next day. So Matt Shea, maybe he put the Bernie Sanders shaped dildo up his ass a little bit too far, ran to Susan and got the bad green man off the YouTube.
Yep. It's how they do TFM.
Ridiculous.
Well, because the thing, these guys can't take criticism, right? And it goes back to the very feminine nature, right? So in male nature, you have law and order and structure, right? That is masculine. Feminine is a world based on feelings. And when you base something on feelings, you're going to get a lot of double standards, right? That's why you'll notice a fat girl will say, oh my God, Chronic, he's got to be real muscly and he's got to make sure he's got 6-pack abs. And then when it comes to them, it's like, oh, what about this guy over here? Oh, gross. Oh, God, he's fat. It's like, but you're fat. Oh, no, honey. I'm big boned. I'm a BBW. I'm curvy, Chronic. Wait a minute. So you see the problem, right? You're looking at, you're like, wait a minute, this is a complete double standard. Like, you're a fat chick demanding a guy who looks like The Rock, right? And you won't accept anything less than that.
I think that that is a symptom of the true problem. And I was when we were talking earlier that we don't have that social shame anymore.
Nope.
We took the fear of God out of everyone, right? And once upon a time, you could convince someone that God won't let your fat ass into heaven because you'll break the stairway on the way up. So you better start losing some weight, honey.
Well, that's
gone.
Once upon a
time, we could convince them of that. I mean, women will believe anything if you tell it to them with enough, I guess, confidence in your life.
You just need diction. And it's why the lamestream media is always beating them over the head with the same nonsense because they know that they're going to believe it. And speaking of shame, Chronic, with the Warband, right? And what do you believe is the need for the Warband, right? You got your Warband. Tell us about the origins of the Warband and the need for the Warband now more than ever in 2021.
Yeah, so I guess I think it was my second or third channel. I was running with a lot of I think I just stopped. I just dropped the Migtown label, but I was still doing a lot of videos with the Hammerhand, James Maxwell, Mr. Elite. He lost a channel. I didn't do any channel.
Yeah, he was a good one, man.
The LOM. What's up?
Bitch, you sent me to jail. I love Mr. Elite, man. Shout out to him.
I guess he's hilarious. He does live streams at the bar and he's just like screaming Migtown red pill stuff and people look at like he's damn crazy. It's hilarious. I'm like in the chat like Mr. Elite, he just fine, man. He's just like these holes are disgusting.
Hey man, he's hilarious. Mr. Elite. So does he have a channel still, or did he just like leave?
I think he's on a new one. I'm sure if you look it up, I think he's Red Pill Elite now.
Yeah, I think someone. I think RPM knows because he mentioned something.
But so we had like something called the Shield Wall, and that was just kind of an association of YouTubers who would shield each other's channels when we knew we would get deleted.
Yep.
Right. That wasn't really, that was kind of other YouTube content creators that really, I wasn't choosing what they believe. I didn't like screen them. Whereas the Warband is kind of like I'm taking mostly fans of mine and are people who want to enter the space, start channels, not just Migtown Red Pill stuff, really anything they want to do. Like me and Ribby mostly just like, I don't even know the last time I put a Red Pill Migtown philosophy. I don't do that shit really anymore. I kind of just like have fun and roast some hoes, try to make some jokes.
Yep.
But they kind of come to me. They want to get recruited. And I kind of assume if you are a big fan of my channel, we believe at least 80, 85% of the same stuff. I don't expect like them all to be in line. But as the commander, there's a problem, we'll drop it. Right? So like it's also part of the lore. I'm trying to run a comic book, a video game, a bunch of other things. So all the Warband creators, they kind of have the same kind of avatar and art, kind of like fantasy or cyberpunk kind of shit. Because we're building a brand. We're making, as I'll shout out LLM again, Line of Migtown, Red Pill Entertainment. We have to support it and, make sure that shit grows. Because I tell people all the time, like, you should just donate whatever you can to your favorite content creators. Shout out to the $20 patrons. You talked about earlier, producer Tim.
Yeah.
Because, hey, you watch TV, you go to the movies, you're directly supporting the feminist establishment. Those ad dollars go straight into the people's pockets that hate you.
Yep.
Whereas, like, hey, I'm not a monetized on YouTube. Every live stream, people are like, why can't I super chat? Because I can't get super chats. Because Google doesn't like us green-skinned individuals.
They're racist.
Racist. So racist. Well, I mean, this channel is run by a black guy and a Native American. I mean, they wouldn't dare throw us off, right?
Hey, you guys are just the new faces of white supremacy, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's well, Chronic. One of the things that I always made sure to point out with guys like you, myself, there's something with division, right? We got to start pointing this out. When it comes to the Warband, just guys, they're out here actually out here doing it. Who do you believe is the biggest opposition, and who you believe are the biggest allies going forward with like this philosophy?
I mean, like the Warband philosophy, or like the greater red pill Migtown
Just like kind of like the greater red pill philosophy. I mean, you can kind of include that in the Warband.
I guess, I mean, here's the thing. Like, people say it's not a right versus left thing, and I kind of agree because the Republicans are a bunch of fucking cucks.
They're the biggest.
But who's the one who's deleting all of our channels off of YouTube? It's not some straight-laced Christian pastor being offended that we're talking about slamming pussy. It's a multi-hair colored, probably like ass growing into the chair, 300-pound land whale that thinks that we all hate the female sex because we're just a bunch of hateful Yahtzee, white supremacists, inbred grapists. So I think the main power structure that opposes pretty much anything on the right is the biggest threat. You'd be like, well, Republicans are cucks, trad cucks are just as bad. Okay, but we're not really like getting. Okay, I'll take that back. Lauren Southern has a big problem with the manosphere.
She's a fraud.
Bitch can kick rocks.
I've actually met her in person before because she's Canadian, right?
Yep. I mean, she went all over. She went all over on a particular continent and already got ran through. So it is what it is. I will say this though, Chronic. I'm actually a huge fan of Lauren Southern from afar, and here's why. Have you ever looked at a Lauren Southern video, especially back in the day, and you just read those comment sections, right? What was that telling you?
Oh, so the
Simps.
thirst.
The thirst, right? Like,
traps.
so Chronic, let's start naming them. Lauren Southern, Lauren Chin, right?
Tommy Lauren.
You got, was it Daisy Cousins?
There's another Lauren. Was it Lauren Pettibone? No, that's Brittany.
Yeah, Brittany
What
Pettibone,
is
and she
with
has
the
a
name
twin
Lauren,
sister.
Drex?
Yeah,
The name Lauren just sets you up for failure.
It sets you up, man. It sets you up to have a simp army. So I mean, you can start naming them. What's that girl's name? She's out in Sydney, right?
Army with the neck tattoos. That bitch is disgusting.
Yep, she flipped. Who's you know who I'm talking about, right? She's Australian.
I think we already said Daisy Cousins.
Not Daisy Cousins. There's another one.
Feminist vampire. Oh wait. Oh no, you're talking about Sydney Watson, who was just on Timcast. The funniest thing, within the first 5 minutes of Timcast, they were already saying, and she's single, so any guys out there, hit her up.
Oh.
I was like, okay, Sydney Watson, make a deal. Let's make a time machine. Let's go back before you got rammed through. Then we can have a conversation.
Yep.
Until that happens, you're not worth it.
Yep.
What's your opinion on Tim Pool? Because there are some days he might be on our side. There are some days where he's just full on cuck.
I mean, I'm a fan. Okay, I'm a fan of Tim. He was part of probably one of the reasons let me think here. Definitely inspired me partially to either continue my channel or to keep on going. He's a journalist. He's also like
the quartering, right?
You mean?
He's not the quartering. Jeremy at the quartering is not as big as Tim Pool, but I mean, I would say they're similar people.
Yeah, so like there's kind of like of the spheres of YouTube. I would say Tim is purely journalistic, but he hangs out with a lot of egalitarians. You know, the quartering, Sargon, and Count Dankula are just to me like the epitome of white male weakness. It's like they're so close, yet they can't get their fat asses in a gym. Trying to talk, like, let's talk about the quartering. It's great. Like, his content is like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. On the way to the gym, he's trying to dunk on some feminists. It's good to listen to. And like in general, like, yeah, these need to exist. Yo, there's a war coming. If you're concerned about some fucking remake of a cartoon show, you're playing with children's toys. These guys need to go on the rifle range. But not everybody can be extreme as Undead Chronic. So like, I'll walk it back. I'm fans, I guess. But it's good to kind of hold up like Tim Pool. Like I do some responses at Tim Pool's live cast or whatever. Or the Quarterang or Count Dankula and go like, hey, look, here's some of your intellectual heroes. If you respect your genetics, you won't do what they do. Like Count Dankula gets married to some fat bitch who's already infertile, and now she's got to shoot up estrogen. They finally get her eggs to come out. How am I supposed to respect that? I'm like, how am I supposed to respect that? Like, okay, it's cool. You make funny content. Keep on getting more piercings in your lip, bro. You look like a bass that I caught for the 5th time the same Saturday.
Oh, fuck. Well, not always bass. See, when you fish for pike, they will bite your line more than once. They'll come back and be like, well, maybe this time will be different. Northern pike are like the simps of the fishing game.
But northern pike, there's some pretty vicious predators, you know what I mean? So like maybe I'm not the simps, but I get your analogy.
Well, and that's the thing too, is the best thing about a simp is that they all think they're alphas. They all think they're chads. Simps think they're chads.
I would say simps disagree with the Chad, like so like when it comes like Chad, alpha, simp, beta, it's useful when you're talking about groups of males. But a lot of times guys are like you see this a lot with the pickup artists or the dating coaches go, here are 10 ways you could be an alpha. It's just like, oh, it's so fucking cringy.
No, it's definitely cringe.
Let me defend my statement though, because I know it's going to cause a little bit of controversy in the comments. Drex, the simp is measured. The successful simp is measured by the female validation, the twat that he's scoring on, right? So he thinks, oh, I've got this girl who, quote, respects me, quote, yeah, exactly. And meanwhile, right, he's on YouTube boasting about how he's got this good wife. What's she doing, Drex? What's she doing on that business trip?
Hit me up.
Hitting you up.
The team up. Yeah. Hitting the team up. So, and this is the reason why I go so hard at these dudes is that, like, Chronic, a lot of times people think that, like, oh, is Drex a hater or something? I said, look, man, it comes from empathy, it comes from love. The reason why, I could easily just go out here, live my life, and not tell any of these guys anything, right? And I'm sure you've had guys send you messages that say, like, yo, Chronic, man, I was a simp. I was, headed down this path because I wasn't red-pilled or I wasn't whatever, and I wasn't, aware. They're thanking you because, like, you start to realize you do make a difference in people's lives. I know TFM has had multiple people who said that they were about to end it all, right? They were that close to the rope or the 9mm, whatever it was they were going to do to end it, right? They were that close to doing it, and all it took was they heard some guy's videos, right? And they went, wait a minute, like they didn't feel so lost anymore. I'm sure you heard about that article from the Wall Street Journal, right? That men are just dropping out of college at record rates because they feel lost. Because college is not for men, especially if you're a white guy, right? I mean, college hates you, so. It is what it is, but like I'm looking at some of these things here, and even like you said, right, with guys just being masculine, we talk about the things that we see out there, like just in the internet space, right? And you recently, Chronic, like you said, you kind of went away from like the flat out response videos like you used to do, and that you and Ribby in particular, and also Taylor to a lesser degree. Yeah, shout out to Ribby.
Here's a shot of 18-year scotch here. This for you, Ribby. I hope everyone's all right in hurricane country there.
Yeah, I've got to give him a well wish, and we did a last stream with Manic. Well, and Chronic, here's the thing.
So he can swim. So
yeah. He's gonna be good, man. He's amphibious. So the thing is this though, Chronic, you guys react to these TikTok videos, especially recently, right? And here's how I view that. My question would be like this, man. Chronic, we got these 304 showing their true nature, right? And yet people still don't believe what they're seeing, even though these women are literally saying, hey, Chronic, I sent out a message to all my simps, and I said, oh my God, I was in Victoria's Secret, and whoever can buy this for me can get me, I'll send them pictures of me in it, right? And then these guys started sending her, Cash App and her money. These women are letting you know what their true nature is right there in front of everybody, right? And yet
Yeah.
still, Chronic, still here we are with dudes calling us the bad guy, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of those women that we see that can receive that much money from simps, you can say, so I'll say this. The more knowledgeable you are about how these females act, I can tell by a way a chick looks, she's a virgin or not, right? They got the thick eyeline, they got any kind of product in their eyebrows.
Yep.
They got dick in recently. It's
What
kind
about
of
the
a
men?
weird plastic look, kind of like it's not dyed blonde hair, but it's almost like dyed dirty blonde hair. I'm talking about white girls here, but we're seeing the worst of the worst. But the simps maybe see that and they go, well, maybe not all of them are like that. Well, ask how many of them save themselves for marriage. Here's the thing, like they keep on saying this. People say, why is this guy obsessed with hymens? Women expect complete traditional servitude in marriage. They don't want you cheating. They don't want you spending money on other hoes. They want you working, taking out the trash, mowing, all of this stuff. The very goddamn least men can do is demand a virgin. These simps don't do it.
Yep.
So, like, I have another one. There was like another short I put out. It was some guy, some chubby white dude, just pleading his heart out about how his child support got raised and he's paying like $2,000 a month of child support, even though he has full custody. And it's kind of like, I'm feeling bad for him, but I went to his TikTok. He's like talking about how white supremacy is the biggest problem in this nation, all this stuff. So it's like all the sympathy dries up.
Yep.
And hey, this simp can be crucified via the family courts and serve as an example to the young Brudas paying attention. It's like,
Absolutely.
I would say guys 20, 25 and up, it's not really a one-to-one, but younger dudes watching this content, like what is it? I don't know what your stats, if you look at YouTube stats, I think like 20% of my viewers are under 18. So
Oh, wow.
what's that? 6, 7, 8,000 subs. I got multiple, think about that, 8,000 subs. So that's 20 classes of freshmen, juniors
Yep.
sitting, full class, not classrooms, like the full year.
Yep.
1,000 or maybe like 20 college auditoriums filled with young Buddhas listening and watching toes get exposed.
Yep.
We're making a difference in that way. But I kind of went off on a tangent. What do you guys say now?
Oh no, look, you're spot on because I talk about that often when I do live chats. I'm like, look, I want to hear from the young guys because we're doing the Thought Girl Summer thing and all this, and like the reason why I do that is because I want people to understand. I'm very adamant about this, Chronic. I don't want any guys out here having hope. I want all hope to be killed off. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm tired of that. Like,
you listened to our State of the Communion episode, right? I think that was episode 25 and 26.
Have not, unfortunately.
Oh God, those are so. We actually went into our Discord and hit up our fans, and they, from all around the world, telling us, Drex, these hoes ain't shit.
Yep.
And then State of the Union, which was episode 24, I think, we actually were talking to some women about the state of men who are also fucking up. Now, the perception is that, Drex, the perception is that you and I, we hate women. We go at women all the time. We don't say anything bad about men. Is that true?
Oh, no. I'm far harder on... I believe, although I'll say I'm fair, but I think if you were to ask most people, they would argue I am harder on simps than I am on women. Like, I'm far harder. Like,
you love women often,
yeah,
as I've always said.
I mean,
so,
it's like
20% of our channel is 18 to 24 years old.
Oh, wow.
We did speak to one of our young fans, younger than Manic, right? Shout out to you. You know who you are. These are people, Drex, that are coming up, right? They're coming through high school, and they are already red-pilled by the time they get into college because they've seen these TikTok videos of twerking when they were 13, 14.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. For I would say in particular, the last 30 years, right? So if we go back from some 1991 to today, men have been watching what women have been doing, right? They've been watching the family court. They've been, but now with social media, everything has just been accelerated, right? So now what's happening is guys are looking like, wait a minute. Oh, so you guys all got side dudes? You guys are all got dating apps that okay, that's how it is. So as dudes pull out, these chicks are like, uh-oh. And that's why the desperation's coming. And Chronic, you know this is where the chameleons started coming from, right? Because they see the guys walking away, but I look at it like this, man. I'm looking at this thing. Chronic, what do you have to say about the men pulling out and what it means for the future? You know what I'm saying? Like, they're pulling out of college, even out of the workforce, at least the
Oh, I think
traditional
like
workforce.
depending on a pullout game, and I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah, if
right?
that's your primary form of birth control, I got some bad news.
Yeah, right?
But, what's your question?
Yeah. So with more and more of these guys pulling out, what do you think it means for the future?
I mean, I'll say it like this. I'll say it like this. Most of the dudes having sex aren't pulling out. So the dudes who are pulling out are maybe the Brad Lights. I say it like that. Like they would have been prize husband material. They could have been prime boyfriend material. It depends on it depends on how they pull out too. But what we got right now, where the 80-20 rule, was it 5%? I mean, I see the stats on Tinder where it's actually the 95-5 rule. Five.
I believe it's closer to like 90-10. Oh no, I was referring to the metaphorical pullout, as in the men
I'll
pulling out of relationships, pulling out of colleges, pulling out of just basic interactions, right? Like
going their own way.
Yeah. If you start to look at it, like Chronic, if you were just going to, let's say you're on your way to the gym, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was a time when you would have maybe shot a glance at some chick that she walked by. Maybe you said a little thing, even just hello, right? Just a basic hello. What I've been noticing, myself included, is that all of that is gone. Like, dudes are just literally like this, right? They're walking around, like just blinders on. Like, I'm good, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, so the guy, marriage is done. Guys are going into trade schools. They're not doing the university thing like they used to. And my thing is, where do you see that going in the future? Obviously, the dolls are coming next.
I mean, there's a lot of questions in that. So, you say pulling out of relationships, not talking to girls, pulling out of college, that kind of paints one picture, one kind of guy, what they're doing. But when you say going into trade schools, for college versus trade school, most dudes are going to trade school instead of college because they're not fucking stupid.
Yep.
That's not worth the investment unless you're trying to do some advanced engineering or medicine or law school. But I would highly recommend people to look into law school, because guess what? There's thousands and thousands of unemployed lawyers all fighting for the same 10 jobs. So unless your daddy has a firm or you suck off a partner the right kind of way, it's going to be hard as shit for you to get a job. Now, if it's your passion, go ahead, whatever. But dudes going to trade schools, we'll talk about the gym. So I'm at the gym. I know I kind of go to a same gym for a couple hours. You'll make friends. You'll make some bro friends, right, kind of thing. And so they'll come up, and some of them are, online. I'm talking to young Brutus too. I'm kind of giving them red pills, but the one guy comes up to me, he's just like, "Hey, you see this girl? You see this?" I'm just like, I literally look at him like, I swear to God, I would pay twice as much a month to have access to male-only gym hours.
Absolutely.
I would do anything for that shit. First of all, because I want the squat racks open. And second of all, I don't need the parade of Technicolor yoga pants whores to be coming in and out of my vision trying to distract me.
Yep.
This has really got accelerated with lockdown, because I guess the word came out that if you squat twice a week, you're a lot more attractive. And hey, I'm a fan of it, but now the gym has turned into a fucking Instagram studio. I'm not a fan.
Well, so Chronic, you've noticed this too, right? In between every set, these chicks pose in the mirror and take pictures. Is that at your gym too?
I see things as more like a continuum. We got some turbo insta thoughts, but then you have it's like Pokemon. They got to level up to that point. There's other ones that will take some at the beginning and some at the end, but other ones will be obnoxiously taking pictures all the time. But I'll be honest, I see that a lot of dudes too. I was doing my favorite lifts, military press, just the bar straight above your head, and I put a racket. I look around. I mean, 3 guys are filming. 3 different groups of dudes are filming their friends flexing. And they're all I'm all in the background. So I'm fucking in a porn studio.
Yeah.
Behind all these sweaty guys, their friends filming. It's just it's pathetic. You have your home mirror. Why are you you don't need to, so I'll kind of be a bitch about that, and I'll walk up I don't fucking consent, but not all the time. But yeah, no, the gym has been filled with thoughts, but men walking away, back to that question, men walking away from a relationship. So I think that's the main thing you could say they're walking away from.
Yep.
We're turning to a more polygamous society, and I've been talking about for years. It's going to be glorious with all these post-wall thoughts screaming for Chad remains. And I really think that simps that go sexless are dudes that don't really pursue that, or Western women at least, between their 20s and 40s. You're either going to get a non-Western woman, maybe a traditional one overseas if they can afford that, but most men can't. It's so they're going to satisfy themselves in other ways. So you said dolls.
Yep. VR.
I don't know, mate. I'm hopeful. I want to encourage any kind of outlet for male sexuality, be it dolls, sex toys, your right hand, your left hand, if you're crazy, or if you live in Louisiana, it's all good. But, we're going to see probably a lot of female feminists. And when I say feminist politics, 100% of the congressmen in the U.S. Senate are feminists. 100%.
Agreed. Agreed.
But we're going to see them pass a lot of legislation to curtail male sexuality and thinking that they're going to, just look at Japan and South Korea. In South Korea, they make it a college requirement to graduate to go in a dating class.
I saw that.
State mandated girlfriends. When enough dudes check out, we'll go there.
Yeah. Well, look, here's the thing. Governments know that women are literally useless. They actually do know this. Like, okay, left to their own devices, they're just going to consume. That's what they do. They're going to raise the debt. The college student loan debt, of course, is over, I believe, 1.7 trillion with a T.
You could say smart governments like China. I did a story where Mao Zedong was trying to give the U.S. 100 million Chinese women, or not 100, like 10 million. I think it was 10 million. 10 million Chinese women, right? Mm-hmm. And old Henry Kissinger, fuck that piece of shit, said no. Can you imagine the sexual dynamics if we just added 10 million servile traditional women in the 60s?
Yeah.
Well, probably would delete feminism another 20 years, but...
Well, and hang on a second, though, because, Drex, you've said this. A lot of men think they can go to Asia and find their traditional wife, their unicorn, right? But what don't you do? Don't bring them to America. Drex, so what happens?
So Chronic, here's my big issue with some of these guys. We'll get to this later with my criticism of the manosphere. When these guys talk about all this, go get your passport, Dude, I have my passport. I travel all the time, right? I talk about my travels. I can tell you with 100% certainty, Chronic, any female that you see out there in the world that lives in a quote unquote patriarchal society, right, does not actually want to be there. She wants to be here in America where she can do whatever the hell she wants to do, right? The Amish have that. They have like almost like a little like it's almost like a little sabbatical, right? Like they can go and live out in the regular world. What is it called? I think there's a name for it, where the Amish can leave and
there is a name for it, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So what happens is a lot of them, that's the life they want to live, right? And when it comes to a lot of these women from other countries, do you ever notice how quickly they adapt to American culture? Like these guys are this Chronic. I met my unicorn. I met her in Thailand. She's so traditional. And then he moves her into, let's say, I don't know, Berkeley, California. And what happens after like 2 months?
Yeah, well, the problem is if you have rotten meat, and that's what an American woman is, actual rotting meat in your fridge, and you get a new burger and you put it right on top. I don't know why dudes are surprised that when they let their wives or girlfriends be around toxic, disgusting American women, that they become disgusting feminists. Yep. This is why I said, like, a lot of dudes aren't going to afford it. If you can't take her out to the country and pump her full of 7 or 8 kids and keep her barefoot in your house, she's going to probably fall to the feminist trap. So she's going to work a job. And I speak from a privileged position in that I can afford to wait another 5, 8 years before I decide to choose who's going to bear my children. And I'll be in the middle of nowhere, and she's not, she'll know their friends in her small group at church. But is she going to be going to lunch with the ladies, getting wine where they tell her how you can divorce her? No, absolutely not. Her social life can be our children. Most dudes, guys want to have the Western fantasy of a wife who works. You're basically, when your woman works, she's living life like a man. It's not going to end well. So I completely get what you're saying. These guys that think that just because she's Asian, just because she's from the motherland Africa, that she's not going to be Americanized. You can't let them, toxic American women. They're actually infectious diseases in the mind. It's just, they say feminism is a virus. It definitely acts like that when it comes to that.
It absolutely is. No, Chronic. Here's the issue though. They're like that over there, and the reason why I bring that up is because I talk about your Warband and all that. You see all these channels, right? King Riches, Mr. Elite, Hammerhand, me, you, guys from all over the world, right? You got human, like it doesn't matter what Taylor, right? Taylor the Fiend, Australian.
Let's clarify. We're talking about those are all Western countries.
Oh yeah. And to be fair, now here's the thing though. No. Let's be fair though.
God damn, Australia's bad.
Yeah, Australia's no joke. Now, but let's be fair now, Chronic. If the herbivore male is a thing in Japan, that's an Eastern country, right? Their birth rate is literally done. They're literally about to die off as
That's a Japanese. I think that's a
yeah,
Japanese.
Japanese. Yeah. Look, what you just said about Korea, right? That's East. That's not West. Okay, guess what? If we were to go to those countries and ask those men, what are the women like? What do you think they're going to tell us?
I mean, if you go to, I think Japan, when it comes to herbivore men, it was definitely the nagging wife, the take your salary when you come home culture. There's also I think that's a more unique, we could pull a lot from herbivore men in Japan, but it's a unique situation where there have always been such a shame-driven culture. And once America came in and just injected them with good old democracy, feminism, all the what to, Japanese men have been seeing their fathers and grandfathers work themselves to death in the factories, and I think it's more of a function of, you know what, we got the best hentai in the world, the best anime in the world, the best manga in the world, best entertainment in the world. Why would I work myself to actual death, not see my kids, not spend my money for the amusement betterment of some housewife?
Yeah.
Whereas like South Korea, I'll be honest, I can't really comment too much on that. But I will say the benefit you get as a Western man, I'm talking from a white man's perspective. I can't really, and there's always the memes like just be white, and it's some fat white guy going to Thailand crying like, it doesn't work. They lied to me. It's just like, bitch, you should have spent the $800 plane ticket for a 2-year gym membership.
Absolutely.
But coming from a much more dominant economic perspective, and you could be like, oh, I forget what it's called. There's some kind of name for the Asian female white male fetish. There's a Japanese word for it. I think it's Pinkelman syndrome. I think that's what it is, Pinkelman syndrome. Don't quote me though. But they want to go to the West. I think that's more of like the fantasy of a rich land owning white husband, whatever. Hey, give me 8 kids, some good teriyaki, we'll be fine. Go to work, divorce me. You're basically as useless as an American woman.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I just want guys to be better at differentiating them, because that stuff does matter, man. And and speaking of lifting, I actually had a question here. One of the guys that sent this in regards to your interest in lifting was, is there a need for guys to be physically fit and obviously in hitting the gym? But the issue was, do you see a sports doc for your injuries? That's question A, and then B. What about getting your testosterone levels tested?
And I guess it depends on your injury. I'm not a medical professional. I'm a scientific professional. But I would assume I would say 99% of gym injuries are minor in that you just rest it. But if it's something you hear a bone crunch, you feel like you can't sleep at night. Yeah, I'd say a sports doctor here's the best thing. The best doctor is the doctor that knows you. You don't get that a lot, and that's a result of the industrialization of the medical system in the West. So you go to like your primary care physician, a family doc, he's seeing like 50 fuckers that day. You talk to him for 10 minutes, just whatever. People out in the country were delivered by the same doctor that sees them their entire life. It's going to be much better than a specialist will talk to you for 5 minutes. I would say, it's expensive. So if you can afford to go to a doctor for every minor injury, hey, go ahead, man. Go ahead. The second question was testosterone levels, Chet. If you're an older man, you can just look up signs of testosterone deficiency on Google. But that's one of the reasons I preach the gym. If you go to the gym, your testosterone levels will naturally rise. So like we talk about how male sperm counts are dropping, testosterone's going down. Oh, it's the plastic. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's the birth control pills coming out in women's piss and the water that you end up drinking. Go to a gym, go to a Gold's Fitness, go to the biggest dudes, and just if they're not roiding, that is. Do you think they have low sperm counts? No. It's the average soy boy that does no physical exercise. He sits at home with his little baseball cap on. He talks about his cats and his dogs and makes videos about Brie Larson. Oh, I'm sorry, I think I just roasted Jeremy. But that's exactly that's the definition of who would probably have testosterone deficiency. Go outside, you get your sun, you eat clean, you lift fucking weights. You're not going to be poisoned by the BPAs. Now, I would suggest you don't drink from those plastic water bottles, especially if they've been sitting in your car on a hot day.
Yeah, you can't do that.
The plastic's melting into the bottle. Same thing with soda cans. The inside of a soda can is a plastic. see it. You think it's plastic on the inside. So it's more just about being aware. I would say like everything that's processed is bad for you. Make a canned soda, make it a treat once a week, once a month if you can. I mean, we all see those fat asses in Walmart. They got their little kids walking behind them, morbidly obese at 5 or 6. It's poison.
Well, absolutely, and even with the the interest in lifting, like I got into lifting when I was, I believe, 16. When did you start lifting, Chronic?
Around the same time, 15, 16.
15, 16?
That's usually a good time to really start, like, kind of like learning the ropes is like summer of your freshman year of high school.
Yep. Yeah, mine was, I believe, sophomore year. I believe I started lifting sophomore year. And, in one of the things, I did a health episode where I was like, I wanted to put it into guys' heads, man, that, America, we are the fattest nation literally in the world, right?
Oh, nope, that's actually Mexico.
Did Mexico beat us?
Yeah, that was recently, though, but I think we're second.
So shit, okay.
Sorry. I when I saw that, I got upset, and I was kind of like, I went to McDonald's, and I bought the 10 people behind me their meals for free. I was like, hey, eat up, bitches.
Eat up. We got to regain the crown.
We're losing.
Exactly.
The thing is that,
Now wait a second, Drex. We have the German Shepherd for the fat black woman, right? What's the fat Latina woman?
No, so we don't. Here's the thing. We're just going on the attitude. So if you have a nasty attitude and you're Latina, you're a Chihuahua. And I think we said you're a Mastiff if you're a white chick, right? I think we settled on Mastiff.
I can't look at fat white woman and think about anything besides like pork grade or like bacon grade pig. Like I actually I did some work in a factory, a pig factory farm for a summer. I literally look at the faces of these pigs and they kind of morph. Like in the Chronicles lore, one of the main factions are the demon pigs, and they're basically a representation of fat white bitches.
well, Chronic, you know what? Do you remember?
I'll put it in your chat. I think I have a picture of a good one.
Oh no.
Well, we had back in the day, we watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right? And you had Rocksteady and Bebop, who were Shredder's little henchmen, and with Bebop, an actual warthog, right? Like that's how. I mean, think about it. Your modern American woman weighs 170.6 pounds, short of 5'4". And the average dress size in America is size 16 to 18, right? That means these are the biggest women that have ever walked the earth, literally. In human history. This has never happened before, right? So, we're at this point, man, where, you talk about it, I talk about it. It is a need. It's not a want. It's a need that guys need to be physically fit, man, and hit the gym and to make sure that they keep their testosterone level up. And just, because remember, and this is the thing I always preach to these guys, Chronic. It has nothing to do with women, because people think that every time you say something, this is how gynocentric the world has become, right? They think that when you say something, you're referring to like the PUA thing, right? With women, I'm like, no. This is just for yourself. You see what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with chicks. And E-Man67 always says that, right? Like, dude, this is being the best version of yourself for yourself, not for an outside source, man. So, I don't know. Sometimes I wonder, man.
Kind of lines up. I'll say it like this. Women are attracted to high-value men. A high-value male, I'll take that back, because high value kind of assumes you're talking about the sexual marketplace. Women are attracted to discipline and dominance.
Yep.
If you can't control, the best way to form discipline is to control over your need to eat. To lose weight, you have to starve yourself. When I say starve yourself, people are like, oh no, he's gonna. I don't mean actually, you're like, you don't eat anything all day until you lose weight. What I mean is you have to get used to hunger. It's not a comfortable feeling. It's not. You're able to control yourself and discipline yourself where you can, hey, I don't need to eat. Me losing weight over the months, years I'm trying to do it is more important than the short-term eating food today. That skill, that delayed gratification, can be applied across your entire life. So women are attracted to that. So there are dudes that go lift, get pussy. It's great to get pussy. The health benefits are immense also. The discipline benefits are great. And it's just fun to walk around jacked. Little kids point at you, they're like tugging on their mom's clothes. They're like, Mom, an alien. What is that? And you just walk sideways through a fucking door.
Yep.
It's good. It's fun.
Well, I mean, in Seattle, I noticed that immediately, man. Obviously, I've been out to the West Coast a lot. And Chronic, it's bad, man. I mean, it is literally like a soy boy heaven out there, man. Portland, Seattle, SoCal, NorCal, Central Cal. It's like Jesus, man. Like, and the chicks, Yeah, yeah, it really is that bad. And I'm sitting here looking, and those are surprises to me because like I knew it was bad, but once you see it, you're like, Jesus. And I got a question for you, man. What is the biggest surprise that you have had since joining YouTube?
Biggest surprise?
So you started your channel all those channels ago.
I would say the Curse of Chronic, and I definitely got to make that like a book or something. Like we'll go through it. So Matt Shea roasted him, predicted his divorce a year ago. That happened. Then I had the big one was Yogi Oabs. Right, he was an old, he was an old. I don't know if people know who he is. I think he had like he took the white pill and is trying to like be Catholic now, whatever. Anyhow, he tried to start a beef with my boys. I came back at him. He summoned his simps. He summoned Soilo TV 84, who attacked me. Then I went on a live stream with him, and he just screamed for like 5 minutes, calling me and that kind of like all the
What?
literally like I'm not sure if it's still
Wow.
I went on a live stream with him, and I guess here's the thing. I give him the benefit of the doubt because like it's not like he's a debating YouTuber, but that's how he argues.
Yeah,
last time I really
insults.
talked to him. So like he kind of really exposed himself as not really being have a conversation, and that's not attractive for a lot of his subs. And then the other one that came at me that Yogi summoned, it's kind of like Yu-Gi-Oh! Yogi summoned Soilo TV. He summoned LFA, or he summoned the second one he summoned was Bull Cuck Mindset. Okay. Now that was that was glorious because I made one video responding to him, and last year he went on the 21 Studios convention, and he was like walking around trying to give his speech, being proud about himself, and he says like, you know what, I'm over it. I don't care if you call me Bull Cuck Mindset or anything. And the fact that he brought that up literally like 2 or 3 years after I roasted him like that, it was like the lasting roast. So that guy kind of went off the cliff. And then LFA just he backed up, but that was also a hilarious, Curse of Chronic. So I don't know what it is. It's not like I'm like coming out here with the ridiculous debate skills. These dudes fumble and foil themselves. And the recent one was me and Ribby roasted the Cucking Made Easy conference, the CME conference hosted by Donovan Sharp.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I roasted like their line out. So it was Donovan Sharp, Coach Rick Adams.
Yep, Chance Pop, Myron.
Fresh and fit, right?
Yep,
so like
Myron Gaines is a lot of those guys.
I paused it and I was like, hey, this is gonna be the walk of shame. This is gonna be history. I don't know what's gonna happen, but we're gonna remember this scene of them walking this cringe shit. What happened to Fresh and Fit?
Yep.
Myron got a bitch pregnant. He's getting sued by another bitch, and everything's falling apart. So that's the biggest surprise that these people shoot themselves in the feet multiple times. It's not like they're shooting themselves in the foot once. They like shotgun themselves in the foot and then dip their leg into a pool of sharks. I'm like, what are these guys doing? I want like a decent, YouTube beef, but defeating themselves.
Yeah, well, they ended up getting into like I think it was Abba and Preach, and there was that whole thing, and that's a whole nother.
And Beach.
Yeah, it's unnecessary though. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, like here's the thing. You can just let your content speak for itself, because here's the thing. It was like you just said. Eventually, guess what? If you're a fraud, you're gonna get exposed as being a fraud, right? Yeah, eventually it's gonna come out like, oh man, this guy's a fraud. So it is like I don't think you really need to do much, and that actually leads to a question I got. Something that you've talked about, I've talked about on Nick's show, man. What do you think about these grifters, man? These PUA guys are trying to slither into the manosphere, for lack of a better term. They kind of slither in, right? And they're, hey, Chronic, buy my course. Right, buy my course.
Buy
right?
my course. Yeah.
Buy my course. Yeah,
my book.
Buy my book.
So I was gonna say that's one of the big. That's probably wasn't one of the main reasons I made the Warband, but the more I think about it, I was like, that's kind of why I made my own thing. I dropped the red pill label because it's going to be used by all these grifters. Now, what can I control? I can gatekeep the Warband. I can gatekeep what art I pay for. I can gatekeep my own damn comics. I can gatekeep all of that. I understand I have some beliefs that most red pill or, Migtown guys would disagree with. It's all cool. Just like, hey, you live your life. It's all good. Like we're all like facing the same army of feminist warthogs together.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't really make red pill anything primarily because of the dating coaches and grifters. I just here's the funniest thing. Look at Abba, well not Abba and Peach. They don't really do that kind of stuff. I look at Fresh and Fit. I look at CGA. Look at Donovan Sharp I look at Rollo Tomasi, and I'm just kind of sit back as a young man in my 20s, slayed more than all of them combined. I'm like, these are the guys that dudes are listening to try to learn how to get pussy. It's fucking hilarious. It's just a dude that coached women's basketball is gonna teach you how to get pussy.
There's actually a good cross section between the people listening to Donovan Sharp or Kevin Samuels and people who listen to Jordan Peterson, right? Now Jordan Peterson being Canadian, I've seen him speak quite a few times. I've met him at conventions and whatnot. The young boys, right? These 19 and 18-year-olds, 16-year-olds that follow him around, they send him these very desperate emails.
Jordan Peterson you're talking about?
What's that?
Talking about Jordan Peterson, right?
Yeah, Jordan Peterson.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. So it's that similar type of energy, right? The fans that follow Jordan Peterson around are the similar fans who are following these other content creators around. For lack of a better word, simping. They literally simp for their creator. Yeah. And it's like, I get it. Well, I love having fans. Drex, I do. But
go ahead.
You got to be your own person. You have to be your own person. You can't live my life and you can't live Drex's life.
Like,
you have to be you.
Like Chronic made the video, right, where he's doing the roast. And I'm a big CGA fan, right? Now, remember, I'm just referring to the content. One thing that I always make sure I separate is that I can separate the message from the messenger, right? So let's say like Coach Greg Adams made a video called Things People Won't Tell You About Marriage, right? Great video. See, the messenger, you may have your own issues, but it's like, it has no effect on me because I go like this. These are things that I've known and like for entertainment value, right? Like even Donovan Sharp has made videos that are totally accurate.
By that standard, you should be completely fine with Roma Army saying the same shit. Right?
Yeah, see, because this is the thing. If someone says something, right, Chronic, and someone is, let's say it's someone you don't like, right? Like I'll give you an example. AOC of all people said something that I was like, I couldn't believe this
between
was
the neck and the belly button. That's all right. She's cool there.
Yeah. AOC said something that I've actually said myself. She said, look at all things considered, she can't see any real benefit of having kids in America right now, right? And I agree with her because Chronic, like I said, you can go to the family court right now in any state, right? Any state. Go to the family court and spend a day in there. You'd be like this, damn, this is what see, so I can agree with AOC on that. I'm like, look, the reasons why people used to have, large families aren't anymore. You see what I'm saying? Those reasons are gone. So I can agree with the message, not necessarily the messenger. You see what I'm saying? And so, like,
yeah, I get that.
I get where you were coming from.
And to be honest, PGA's content and Donovan Sharp and like all their mild red pills, so they talk to you about the dangers of marriage. Yeah, it appeals to a lot of people. We bring more people to the red pill sphere. I just feel like I'm more elite than that. It's just like it's not. Let's say I'm more of an extremist, right? It's like you don't come to Undead Chronic's channel thinking that getting married is a safe thing in America. I'm not the one to teach you that getting married is gonna fuck you up, right? It's kind of assumed, But I'm more of an entertainer, to be honest. Yeah, no, I mean, like, I roast those guys. Not everything they do is bad, but at the same token, they are taking money from young men who regurgitating basic shit that's been talked about for years now. I haven't heard a single point from Coach Greg Adams or Donovan Sharp that's actually new or salient. Same thing with the trad thoughts, the chameleons. It's like I can make a red pill Migtown AI, write a script, hire some decent looking happa bitch to say it, and get millions of subs and donations.
Agreed.
That's the formula. So I mean, there's a function, but
yeah. Well, let's face it. Even someone like Kevin Samuels.
I'll be honest. You said you're not a hater. Chronic is definitely a hater.
So here's my thing.
I got that.
Here's the thing about me. I don't even have this like a certain level of like emotional investment. So I look at it like this. I can look at a Kevin Samuels video, right?
Fashion simp.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have my criticisms of Kevin Samuels. One of my major criticisms is I'm not even going to get into the fact that he's pushing marriage, but he's been twice divorced, right? The main issue I have with someone like Kevin Samuels is that with all the laws that are in place, especially in the black community has the highest rate of divorce, right? Like, it's already abysmal across the board, but it's even worse in the black community.
So if you do get married, you get divorced.
Yeah. It's like,
damn.
so like it's an abysmal. The black divorce rate is the highest in the nation, and black women these German shepherds are filing for divorce even more so, right? So, Chronic, I'm sitting there looking at Kevin Samuels. Like, listen, I'm looking at it for entertainment value, right? Like, I'm listening to these 304s call in. Kevin, I deserve a high value man. I know I'm 300 pounds, and I know I got 4 kids, about 3 menses. Why would Kevin Samuels say that he wants to have people within X amount of time? He's talking about relatively quickly. You should be married. I'm looking at like people are out here right now. You, Chronic, imagine meeting a girl right now, and within 3 months you got married, right? No prenup, no nothing. Just you got married.
Like maybe if I knew her growing up, like as in she was a kid at my church, she turns 18, and then 3 months later, let's get some kids. But that doesn't fucking happen in the West.
That's what I'm saying. No. So that's my criticism. Like, I can look at things that Kevin Samuels says and say like, yep, he's spot on about this, spot on about that. But that's the nature of what's happening in the manosphere. And I actually had an episode where I talked about my criticisms of the manosphere, and I want your take on this. What are your criticisms of the manosphere? What are the things that you think the manosphere is starting to get wrong? We already talked about the grifters, right? What do you think they're getting wrong?
I guess the manosphere is so large and wide, like a green schlong. But we can cover some of it. So Kevin Samuels, people say that they're impressed by Kevin Samuels because he makes obnoxious females look stupid. Like, that would be like me getting into a boxing ring with a 3-year-old mentally retarded Make-A-Wish kid with brain cancer and knocking him out in 10 punches. It's not impressive to make women act a fool on camera.
Yep.
He's using the fact that he can show his face and have the call in and dress in a $200 3-piece suit. I guess it should be more because he gets donations now. He's using the fact that he looks the part of a high value man, makes these obnoxious women look bad to make it like he's some kind of product. It takes no skill. Kevin Samuels has absolutely no career prospects outside of YouTube, but you wouldn't know that because he's a huge YouTuber. He goes, I'm successful. Let me guess. I'm in real estate. I'm in fashion. But when I see it as a man who stays anonymous, it's actually pathetic. Actually pathetic. I'm like, your job as a full-grown man, the whole thing is to LARP like an alpha on YouTube, I stream you owning these fat entitled feminists and still pretend that you have some big empire outside of YouTube. Shut the fuck up. And he calls himself the godfather of the manosphere.
Yeah.
How many kids do you have?
Rollo Tomasi has the same thing.
Oh God, Rollo Tomatoes just as bad.
Yeah.
What are you saying, Tim?
Oh, go ahead.
So the people who take themselves way too seriously in the manosphere, right? They've convinced themselves that they're some sort of prophet of manhood, right? They have the same delusion that Muhammad does. I wouldn't be surprised if it comes out that a few of these guys are hitting up underage chicks in their DMs.
Or dudes.
I mean, that was Yogi Oabs who did a live stream with a 16-year-old about her rape fantasies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, literally, he did that. Like, he did that a day after my roast. Like, he decided to do a live stream with her, and that's kind of one of the surprises on YouTube. I was like, this guy for real? And everybody in my fans was like, I'm gonna call the Portland police. I'm gonna call. I didn't even say anything. I'm just like, why? Now that all the attention is on you, you do that. But you talk about being a prophet or whatever. Like Rollo Tomato. I look at this sub 150-pound dude that looks like he sells loose cigs outside of the bar. He's like, I'm gonna teach you how to spin plates. And I'm like, again, it's pathetic and cringy. But I'm in the new age. Like I don't really claim the manosphere, but I'm definitely one of the younger dudes that to listen to this in more the formative years. So like some old guy trying to tell me how to spin plate, saying that you got to like walk past her, like turn 30 degrees to the left and then press AB on your controller 3 times. It's like, it's just, I don't watch that content. None of my friends watch that content. I show females at the bar, this kind of shit. Like I literally showed females at the bar Donovan Sharp's video where he's bragging about how his wife has been run through. And I go,
yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, he took it down after I roasted it.
Yeah. Okay, that was the video you made after the CME video that you roasted, right?
It was one of them, yeah.
Yeah, and I remember. Okay, so here's what happened. I think you might have done it on your community tab, right? So it would show up as like a screen grab, and I remember like looking at that, going, nah, that can't be. And I don't think I ever clicked on it.
Hmm.
So it was something. I think someone else basically called him a cuck because they're like, "Wait a minute, bro. Like, are you watching other dudes just smash your girl like that? Like, what's going on?" So, and I will say this though, Chronic, that is the future. Okay, for most dudes, if you're not one of the top dudes, you will be in a cuckold relationship, man, in the future. Like, I've told people that straight up. Like, look at so Chronic, look at the kind of relationships that you see out here, right here and now, right? And look at the kinds of guys that women are getting with. They're getting with the lame guys, right? The guys that are just beta providers, right? They're getting their back blown out by dudes with green skin or black skin. You see what I'm saying?
Mm.
The only commitment for most dudes, we're saying most guys who are still out here dating because they're stupid, right? The only thing they're going to get is basically a polyamorous relationship. They're not getting exclusivity. Like you said, Chronic, in your lifetime, how many attractive virgins have you ever met? In your lifetime?
Does that include when I'm in middle school and high school?
No. So they got to be, let's say 18 to, or no. How about this? How about 16 to 24? How many attractive virgins have you ever met?
Of the last probably like 50 girls or like 40 girls I've smashed, one was a virgin.
Yep.
So, and even then,
Yeah. So
it was
that means
like
2%.
the conversation was, want kids? He says no. And I'm like, well, I'm thinking to myself, well, you just let me punch the V card for nothing. I guess you'll think about me in 20 years when you're married.
Yeah. It is what it is. Like Chronic,
it's like, hey, if you don't want to do that, I got nothing for you.
You got a point. I mean, like I said, Nick Rekieta is my man. And I tell guys all the time, I'm like, look, he did it his way, the way that he figured was best. I go, look, that works for a very small amount of people. I said, but for most dudes out here, you're not meeting a virgin. You're meeting a chick who's been ran through. We're saying for the vast majority of dudes. So, Chronic, if you say you met 50 chicks and one of them was a virgin, that is literally 2%, right? That means 2%. So, if there are 7.8 billion people on Earth, a little over half of them are women. Look at what percent of women that you can on the entire planet that you're going to find between, say, 16, 18 to 24 that you're going to go like this. Oh yeah, man. I'm gonna get this girl. We're gonna date in high school, and once she's 18 and we graduate, we're gonna do start a family. Nah, it ain't happening, bro. I would say 99% of dudes out there, it ain't happening for them.
Yeah.
Speaking of Rekieta, someone asked in the comments, Chronic, how did you stumble upon Drexel?
Manic, one of my Warband members, he formed that connection. So he was on the show last week. Right.
Yep.
And I've joined y'all's Discord. And wait, what's up?
Yeah, you've crashed our live streams before, so you obviously knew about Drex before Manic got us together, right?
Yeah, I guess I didn't know that much before we got us together, but I did crash your live streams. It's probably just because like anytime someone's doing a red pill Migtown kind of live stream, it's probably the algorithm will kind of show it to me, and I'll always pop in, see what's up,
Really? So you're just one of our organic finds. That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, it's kind of. I'm like the mold growing on your bread because you forgot to put it in the fridge last night.
Yeah, well, it's great. Like, well, I told you when like I said, I had watched your content for a while, and when I was on Nick's show, and you just kind of like popped up, I was like, "What the hell is Chronic doing? I'm watching a lawyer's channel." It was like one of those kind of like weird moments. I'm like,
what was the stream about, by the way?
I don't even remember what the hell Nick was talking about that
It's
night.
probably something like video games, or so like sometimes I'll like switch over to like the more like gaming / like pop culture part of YouTube. And I'll use the Chronic channel to comment and such. And it's always funny when I like, I like comment on some gaming YouTubers like one for like, hey, this is great content, keep it up. They give me the heart, and then an hour later I lose the heart. It's because they look up who I am, and I'm like, I get it, man. You don't want the toxic ideology, the toxic Chronic to slander your brand. It's cool, but I still cry a little bit at night about it.
I bet.
I came in as the alt channel, and I'm pretty sure it was Drex. It was you and Nick talking about Cyberpunk.
Oh yeah,
is that what it was? Oh, okay.
I think is
Cyber cunt.
Yeah, that game turned out exactly the way I thought it would, man. And speaking of games, Chronic, what are you playing right now, man? I know you and Manic game a little bit on his channel.
By the way, Manic says send the codes. He hasn't gotten the codes yet.
Oh man, you're horrible, man. You're horrible.
Yeah,
I'll put him on blast.
Yeah, so when Manic got recruited, he was going to be the gaming part of the Warband. So hopefully we're going to move into some streaming. I haven't been on Twitch ever. So maybe we get on Twitch, we won't get banned, we won't get demonetized, but I'll probably just keep it on YouTube. But we're gonna use it as a platform to just like hang out and just do like a normal show. Because I'll spend 2 or 3 hours like with Ribby, with Manic, like gaming, a lot of survival games, a lot of zombie games. So I guess what games I'm playing now, 7 Days to Die is a pretty constant
of course,
one.
yes.
It's a pretty classic one,
Do
especially
you
when
play
you
the
like
Darkness Fall mod?
I actually don't. Do you recommend it?
I do. I really do. It's really good. It introduced classes into
Yeah, I heard
7
that.
days, and it upped the difficulty of the Blood Moon Nights too.
Yeah, so usually what we do, or I'll describe it real quick, and then we can move on to other games. So usually what I do is I'll run a server. I'll make the Blood Moon come every night. I'll make the zombies like 3 or 4 times, and then I'll like up the looting and the harvesting by like 5 or 6 times. So it turns it from more like a slow burn survival to like a almost like Nazi zombies, where like you get like a shotgun day one, prepare yourself. There'll be a couple hundred zombies coming in, so it's really just a lot more shooting. But other good games, I play a lot of indie games, so I'll probably do like a couple videos with Manic, like, you know, the top 10 indie games Chronic plays. I like some strategy games. Battle Brothers is a really weird indie one I'll play. It's funny, I had a DM string with a dev from Critical Bliss who does a bunch of like, I won't say hentai games, but they're like sexual, definitely not safe for work games, nudity games.
Of course.
But he has a pretty decent mind for game design. I was like, hey man, like I can like pump your shit up and get you a couple thousand sales if you do like an interview with me. But he's just like, I want to avoid the politics and everything's going good. But maybe one day I'll convince him to do a stream. But I'll probably get maybe an hour every couple nights to do gaming. Because I tell people when they get mad at the channel, they got, you know, low content. I'm like, this is my hobby. Like roasting cucks. Like when I compare myself to Kevin Samuels and Donovan Sharp, they need the likes on the streams to go up.
Yep.
If you don't get the likes up, we're going to stop the stream.
Yeah.
Listening to Kevin Samuels trying to tighten his tie up, you know, hide his little man titties, because he has gynecomastia. The dude actually has female breast tissue. I've seen pictures of him before. And then beg for likes. In my life, you know, in the high school locker rooms, at college, in the fraternity house, 100% of the people who would get mad they didn't get likes were women. So when I see these dudes get mad because they don't get likes, it kind of just adheres to the general trend I see for bitches.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. A lot of these dudes obviously raised by single moms, right? And when you listen to the voices, when you just see the mannerisms, right? Mm-hmm. And like I said, I could look at someone's content and take good things from it, or, you know, certain topics that I say, okay, that was a nice breakdown of an article. But at the end of the day, man, what we're dealing with is there's a feminization of men in the country. You know what I'm saying? In the world on a global scale. You know, I'm sure you heard about China. They just instituted a new mandate saying, "Oh, Chronic, no sissified dudes on TV. Done.
Yeah, no sissy
over."
man.
You heard about that shit? Like,
yeah.
Dude, Chronic, you can turn on the news in the morning, right? Let's say you're going out somewhere and you just say, yeah, let me just go channel to channel, right? All morning shows. How do the guys look?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. It's like people like to see more feminine faces on females and men, right? So like the guys who slay like the craziest slayers I ever knew, they weren't the dudes that lifted the most at the gym. They had a naturally kind of pretty boy face, right? So it's kind of like a market thing. But for me, it's like I don't turn on mainstream media. So I guess I'm not too. I already know they're bitches. Like I already know that.
Absolutely.
I know on every single chair there is an 8-inch dildo they have to wedge right up to their sigmoid colon. Okay, like that's assumed for that, but China banned it. It's gonna be very interesting because, like, you know, they did the gaming ban, they did that. It feels like China's government is starting to flail against the after effects of feminism. Mm-hmm. But yeah, people like China's gonna rule the world. I'm like, in 20, 30 years, most of China's population is gonna be dying in retirement homes, and the sons that they had and spoiled are gonna be like dying of heart attacks because they're all fat. You know, so
well, it's funny you say that. The when it came to the gaming. That 1 hour of gaming was only online, and my question is this: what if you are a streamer, right? Do you have to go ask the Chinese government for special permission to be like, "Yo, this is my job"? You see what I'm saying? Like,
I think it's for under 18-year-olds, so I don't really.
Yeah.
So I guess if you're like a young streamer, like, but
the
dudes I know in China just tell me, "Oh, I just use my parents' ID." So.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
But I'm sure, like, It's just governments trying to control male energies that aren't behind producing or
Or women.
chasing women, right?
Yep.
Everywhere it's the same kind of theme, right? So it's like in the U.S., all these lockdowns. Who's probably? You know what? I would love for there to be a survey across the globe of women support lockdowns more or do men? Because I can guarantee you it's women.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
Well,
There is studies on that. There's surveys on that.
Of course there is. Well, one of the funniest things, Chronic, is it was a little earlier than this time last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
My dad came to town and he told me that because the lockdown started in like March, right?
Yeah.
And like literally nothing beyond like a gas station or like a Lowe's or something was open before June, right? My dad said the first day that like certain the golf course opened, right? He tells me he thought he was going to be the only guy there. He's like, oh man, lockdown, everyone's going to be scared of COVID. I'm going to go. It's going to be an empty course. Hey, Chronic, what do you think happened when my dad showed up to the golf course?
Line.
Who was it? Was it men or women?
Oh, it was all men, probably. A
All
line
dudes.
of men trying to get away from their wives.
He said these dudes were telling him to his face, I almost did it, man. I was that close to actually yeeting her. I was about to leave, like yeeting her. Chronic.
More hockey mask time videos.
Hey, Chronic. No. And my dad said the guy was not like he wasn't saying it like in a joking manner. He was like, no, I'm being dead serious, man. He goes, I almost cracked. I almost put on the hockey mask. Like these guys were that.
You can't enforce dominance in your own house. You can't tell a bitch to shut the fuck up because she'll call the cops.
Yep. Oh
yeah.
Chronic. Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up, man, because I'm not going to lie when I say this, man. I'm going to give you some high praise. You are the only guy. Tim has been around me. Nick has been around me. Do you know that you are the only content creator I have ever heard who shares my same view on the police? Ever. Because everyone's simping for the police,
Definitely,
right? You either simp them or you like,
yeah,
they thought the police. But like, there's never that guy that goes like this. The police, Chronic, are the actual blue pill pay piggies.
They're like
of the gynocracy.
They're the enforcers of feminism.
They're the enforcers. Like I was like, I told guys that I go, dude.
Yeah. The feminists are pigs, right?
Yep.
They're pigs to me. They're demon pigs. Cops are pigs too.
Mm-hmm.
They're all pigs. So like
the sipping for cops comes from because most you were talking earlier about how left versus right, and I feel like you can't be on the right side of the political spectrum and be anti-police because now you're just Antifa at this point, right? So there's this you have to simp for the police or you're not conservative, which is a backwards way of thinking.
I guess as someone that I get asked all the time, are you conservative? Are you Republican or Democrat? I'm like, I have not voted in a single goddamn demonic election in this fucking country because I refuse to disgrace my hands taking part in democracy. Democracy, Lady Liberty, can get on our hands and knees and crawl to me because guess what? What did democracy bring us? It brought us a 19th. Conservatives are obsessed with order. I get it. Order's good. You don't want crazy people going on. But if you look at the bigger picture, whose boot are you under? You're under women's boot. And they want that order. I'm refused to take part in that order. So when the police lose power, who gains power? Young, aggressive men who can use firearms. Guess what the Warband is composed of? So it's not surprising that I enjoy the police losing power. Yep.
Well, and Chronic, the thing is TFM talks about this also. We touched on this. I guess you and TFM. So you and TFM are literally the only two I've ever heard talk about this. When you are, and this is the reason why I'm so anti all of this like ethnic division within the so-called manosphere, where there's dudes out here running their mouth. And I said, look, man, if you're a white guy and you're blaming somebody else for why your life isn't going the way it is, I go, when you go into that family court, the judge probably looks like you, right? The cop probably looks like you. You see what I'm saying? Like every step of the way, the guy more likely than not looks like you. Mm-hmm. In TFM, I always said this: men, we are our own jailers, right? We're our own slavers. Because when the female says, "Chronic, me too," guess who shows up to remove you from your home, right? It's them.
Green-skinned police officers.
Yeah, it's them, right? And so they sit there and they're like, "Yo, Chronic, my lady, she said you did it, so you did it." It's like, dude, you're trying to send me to jail because this, dude, Chronic. I don't know if you ever saw the stream where I talked about this. My brother got Me Too'd and had SWAT. Yeah, SWAT burst through the house, bro. Can't make this up.
Probably gave him 5 warning shots in the back of the head, huh?
Yeah, well, luckily, and here's what's crazy.
Well, he was resisting, clearly.
Yeah, clearly resisting. And Chronic, do you know what he was doing when SWAT formed an L perimeter around our house? And dude, it literally looked like a movie, as in
I want to say a joke.
armored truck.
I want to say he was like beating off, and they came in. He's like, and then finished on some cop shield, but no.
Close.
Aww.
He was sitting down. I don't even get a shirt on, playing Final Fantasy 12.
I was gonna say video games. Oh,
yeah, he literally just sitting there, like just like minding his own business.
No.
And
God.
I'll have to ask him. I swear, I think the amount was it was somewhere between like $8,000 and $13,000 he had spent on attorneys to fight this bogus guy, all because his ex-girlfriend said he's crazy. He's got guns. He's got guns because he's an Army veteran. You see what I'm saying? He's licensed to carry. So she pulled the whole. He's crazy. He's got guns. He's got a sword, and he's gonna yeet me and yeet himself. Yeah. He had those samurai swords and stuff.
He's gonna sacrifice me.
He's got a sword. He's gonna do this. Gods. and who came in? It was the white knight simps, the cops. They came in and then rather than question her story, like, wait a minute, let's get the name. Let's make sure that this does this person have any priors? Let's get a negotiator, just something, not literally bursting through someone's house with SWAT, right? And remember, we as taxpayers got to pay for that, right? Mm-hmm. SWAT ain't cheap. You brought SWAT to the suburbs, as in a helicopter, armored truck, and the whole thing.
Yep.
This was 2000. This was I actually remember it. It was 4th of July weekend, 2006, and I remember that because he had to spend extra time he had to spend extra time like in a straitjacket. Because of the fact that it was a holiday weekend, right?
Oh,
so he had to spend an extra day like stuck in there. Like imagine a long weekend with a damn straitjacket, all because some thought said that you're crazy, right? You're crazy and homicidal and suicidal. So, Chronic, we're at this point, man, where some of your videos, Manic told me that when you got taken down for a little bit, you got put in time out. I thought it was your video on the Talachad, right? Which I thought might have been your best video.
Yeah, that one's
So he told me that wasn't it. Chronic. We got to talk a quick second about the nature of this censorship and cancel culture, because you weren't taken down because of Talachad. You were taken down because you hurt Waman's feelings. It was the chick. I remember the video. It's the chick that is suing a dating matchmaking people, right? Company. Yep. Because the man wasn't 6 foot tall, right? He wasn't Chad, right?
Yep.
That's what got you yeeted off YouTube, right? Mm-hmm. You didn't preach hatred. You didn't say everyone strap up arms and do X, Y, Z. You were yeeted off of YouTube because you covered an article. It wasn't even you just making something up. You covered the article.
Well, I did roast her a little bit, probably.
But she deserved it.
Yeah.
She deserved it.
Well, the other strike I have the reason it's 2 weeks. The other strike I have is the video. It was a short video. It was titled "Women Don't View Short Men as Human."
That's true.
Yeah. Well,
that actually is true.
Harassment and cyberbullying for both of them.
Well, Chronic, let me ask you something. Have you ever been around women and noticed that like they actually do not even notice X amount of guys, like you said, if a woman walked into a club or a bar, and let's just say the average height of the guy in there was 5'10" and shorter, right? Mm-hmm. In her mind, what would she say?
There's no dudes in here.
There's no guys in here. She will literally, guys, I can't make this up. She will literally say there are no guys in here, and when you point out, wait a minute, there's guys everywhere. Her response, Chronic, would be what? When someone points out that there's tons of guys in here, what's she gonna say?
I don't know. If they're under 6 foot, they're just a friend.
Ugh, gross. Yeah, they're just short. So they aren't even human to her, right?
Yeah.
I have checked many women. They don't possess empathy, man.
I mean, I'll be honest. Like, I kind of have that too. Like, if a woman's not a virgin, I only see her as practice. Like, I view her as a sex doll.
As you should.
Yeah. So, like,
as you should.
And that's the kind of you need to bring that energy to all the dudes you can. Because here's the thing, you can't really choose how tall you are. You can't choose if you're a whore, though. So,
Yep.
At least every woman met my standards at one point in time. Where there's tons of dudes that will never, ever meet the standards of these females.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and you know what? And speaking of, like, with roast, I got a question, man, because I've seen you obviously roast a lot of these ass hats, and of course, Yogi Obes is one of the funniest. I actually did not hear about Yogi Obes from you. The first time I ever heard of this dude was actually Amr, because he makes it a point to roast Yogi Obes in literally every single video, right? Like
It's funny.
It's hilarious. So my question is, where did you get the inspiration for the roast?
Inspiration. I mean, I'm just kind of an asshole. I just kind of roast, even like my friends, I'll roast them a little. Dudes will roast each other.
Yep.
I've always been the grill master. So when I was making my earlier content, I did some more. I have one video. It's like invest in cat food, where I was going for the comedy. But I did like a response video to some Asian bitch talking about the Jubilee video where like none of the dudes are good for her.
Yep.
That's the one I roasted that got me a huge amount of traction. And from there, it was like, hey, I'll just people enjoy this kind of content. I'll refine my craft. So, but I can't really do my roast like kind of roast. Like I'll use very flowery language. I'll change it up. But once there's a platform with no cyber harassment, but it's so funny. Like I get taken out for cyber harassment and bullying. Yet we got like I covered a video. It was like just some like Latino dude with like 100K subs, just like trying to start a race war, is like giving this guy's address out. He's like, go say hi to his mama. Here's her address. I'm like, this guy's still up. Like this dude's still up.
Oh, that's weak.
All right,
That's weak.
let's hear it. Let's hear a Drexel roast.
I mean, what kind of? I mean, I don't know. I'm seeing like the top half of his head. Like I don't know. You want? I mean, you send me a video of his and I can roast it. But
I'll just put the censor bleep on there because this is YouTube after all.
Yeah, YouTube has gotten so lame with all the censorship stuff. Well, you know what, Chronic, you did just mention something though, that when you said invested in this cat food. I was actually just had a conversation with a gal last night, and I told her about my next wave of investments will be in the she economy, right? With all these fertility clinics and stuff going to be start sprouting up, and all these post-wall chicks are crying to get kids, right, with their used up eggs, their dead eggs, right? Chronic, what do you see coming with that when it comes to the she economy, right? Like, because a lot of these women, think about it, antidepressants, anti-anxiety, right? Dogs, cats, because they're not gonna have a man in their life. That is long gone, right? That's over. That ship sailed.
If she's white,
it's 130. So anybody that actually took that video seriously would have had a 6 times return on their investment. So my Buddha said, listen to me, enjoy those gains.
Drex, we're gonna have to wrap here soon. Yeah, just we don't like these shows going over 2 hours. It fucks with the algorithm a little bit. I did want to mention we do have a gaming channel as well, Migtown Arcade. Whenever Drex is done, flying around the world smashing hoes, we'll start. Oh, are you gonna play Cuckold Simulator?
Yeah, I do need to do that. Well, let's get us time tomorrow because I'm actually off tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm done. All right. Yeah, I'll message you for that later. But Chronic, have you played Cuckold Simulator?
I told Manic to go. The first video he made, I was like, buy Cuckold Simulator, make a review for it. And after watching him review it, I feel like I'd rather just watch Manic do like a live stream of it. Like I'd rather like.
Yeah, you're not missing much by not playing the game. It's a
hilarious.
pretty simple game. We had the developer in here for an interview. He's a pretty cool guy.
Sounds awesome.
Shout out to Team Sneed.
No, I support him. It's funny. He definitely uses meme craft to his advantage.
Yep.
Yeah. Sometimes he actually hops into these recordings and hangs out with us. So shout out to you, Team Sneed. You're awesome.
You know what the funniest thing Team Sneed said? He said when he was making the game, he said he was talking to certain guys that he knows, and they didn't like the game because it hit too close to home, man.
Oh yeah.
on some real shit, dude. We did an interview with him. He said that literally there were people that said it hit too Chronic.
That was
imagine
his opening line.
Your kids are what were the kids? Was it Tyrone Jr. and Deshaun?
Tyrone and Deshaun.
By
the way, Deshaun's my favorite character in that game.
Oh.
Look, Chronic.
He's so
real life,
sassy.
bro. It's real life. Like there are dudes actually out there that are actually cucks, man. And when we laugh about it, like, this is so funny.
I mean, anybody that dates a single mother is a cuck. That's like what? Like
Richard Cooper?
Oh my, yeah, he's entre cucks and cars for sure.
Yep.
All right. Any final questions, Drex, for Chronic before we do voicemails?
Oh no, Chronic, go ahead and show your stuff, I guess. If you
Yeah,
want
where
to do
can people
that.
find you?
Yeah, well, if you guys want to follow the Warband, I'm Undead Chronic 14. We have Riker the Biker, Manic the Mechanic, and Ribby the Party Frog. So give those guys a share, give those guys some love. But I'm good. You guys, good show. Good show.
Thanks, sir.
Awesome. All right. Feel free to hang out or mute yourself. Doesn't matter. But thank you very much for coming on, regardless. And we'll get you back in here. This isn't the last time we've seen Chronic here. Okay, Drex, I got a voicemail from the Labor Day stream. Someone called in, wanted to wish us a happy Labor Day.
Oh, nice.
Happy Labor Day, everyone. I hope you enjoy your barbecues. Congratulations to Texas for pissing a lot of people off. Really, you need to pass a bill now to strike down that new law. Call it the Your Choice, Your Responsibility law, where women get 100% choice to commit murder at any time, but they also have to pay for it 100%, right? If they choose to keep that sprat around, they gotta pay for all the school, no tax assistance, no alimony, no child support, right? See how many people like that. Take care.
I like that. It's what I've always said, right, Tim?
Yep.
I'll get behind it, dude. I'll get behind all this whole my body, my choice. If the guy can say my wallet, my choice, and she doesn't get to get resources from the government. If that becomes the new standard, then yep, go ahead, do whatever you want to do.
Texas sometimes does the right thing, and then they turn around and do stuff like Sophie Long or James Younger, right? It's anyways, god damn it. But anyways, thanks for the voicemail, bro. 1855 Migtown. That's how you call in and leave a voicemail. Maybe we'll play it on the show. Maybe we won't. We have to do the Russell Greer disclaimer, Drex. We don't want someone suing us because we didn't play their voicemail.
Oh man, Russell Greer. Jesus.
By the way, Russell, if you're listening, call in.
Yeah,
Call in. We'll have you.
We'll have him at Olive Garden.
Yep.
Live from Olive Garden.
We'll meet you at an Olive Garden, and Drex, bring Miss Laura along.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's she been up to lately? Haven't seen her in the server at all.
Oh, the last time I heard from her might have been about I'm trying to think how long ago. Maybe about almost a week ago. She's somewhere. Yeah. When did the last time I heard from her? September 6th. So was that a week ago? Yeah, almost a week ago. Yeah, she's somewhere.
Okay. Yeah, just haven't seen her.
Hopefully
in
she has eye
server in
drops.
like a month. She's well stocked on eye drops.
Yeah,
Maybe
right.
she's got like a push-up mat or something she put in the room. But
oh my god, the push-ups. Jesus.
Shut up. By the way, so programming announcement. We have created, if you may have or may not have noticed, we have created the $20 tier on Patreon and Subscribestar. Got a few people who are already Supreme Alpha Chads. We also renamed all the tiers too. So there's the Chad tier, the Tyrone tier, and the Supreme Alpha tier. What do you think, Drex?
Yeah, I saw that. I looked it up. I was like, oh look, they've been renamed. So I kind of laughed because I saw like a little. It says Supreme Alpha text. I looked in there. Yeah. Koopa talks about. She was asked about Goblin Slayer.
Always. God damn it, Koopa. But yeah, and this is in response. People have been badgering me, and I'm not going to name names, but you know who you are. There's been about 3 or 4 people who badgered me, saying like, we want to support the show more. And I never was really sure how to provide benefit for that extra $10.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, we have this live stream infrastructure. I've redone my studio, as you can see. Added a lot of a lot of acoustic paneling too. So, my audio quality should be a lot higher. We have to make the legendary Sigma tier. That'll be the $50 tier. I don't know.
Fucking Lizzo.
Oh, and by the way, Drex, I've renamed the terminology too. So people paying us on Patreon are referred to as Migtown property taxes.
Yes.
Because guys,
there's
remember,
something
do not
inherently
simp.
horrible about seeing Lizzo's slow motion butt movement. I don't know what to say. It's something.
Someone
Ugh.
screen cap that face. Anyways, but here's one of the things we could do is we could actually live stream the video version of us recording these shows onto a private YouTube and give it to the Supreme Alphas. Now,
Oh damn, we forgot
the
to
guys,
ask poker or no poker. We forgot to ask Chronic.
Ah, shit.
Uh,
Does he watch anime?
Maybe.
Oh, well, like I said, we'll have him back in here. There's no way we're not going to keep him out of the channel for very long. He'll be back.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do October's bonus episode with Chronic. I can't decide whether we're going to do September's bonus episode with Cress or with Tug. Because we did RGE last month, right? So Tug or Cress, one or the other. I'll figure it out. I'll see who's available. But we'll do that. We got to do that actually sometime soon.
Most definitely.
The end of the week is fine. Oh, also for the $20 tiers, they get an added benefit. I will release the unedited versions of these. So, sometimes I do cuts, especially for time, or if we got like super sidetracked and off topic, or we had technical issues, which, Drex, sometimes when we have technical issues, there's always fun banter back and forth, either with me and the guest or you, right? If there's technical issues. But anyways, we do appreciate the support. We really do. A few people have already upgraded their tiers already. Yes, the merch is still coming. Phil's supposed to release, Phil is supposed to get his shirt in this week, between the 13th and the 16th, it said. Once Phil gets the shirt, looks like I've convinced him to make Penance model it for us.
Oh God, yes. Oh God, look now, Tim. We obviously need the baby doll tee for our girl Maple.
Yep. Did you see TFM had a review of the African fertility doll? It's a bust, right? Just torso and ass, sex toy. But its proportions are hilarious. Like, think Nicki Minaj proportions.
Oh, really? Wait, and what did you say it's called? It's called the...
it was up on Migtown.tv.
Oh, God, yes.
TFM's sex toy review.
Oh, God.
He compared it, he put Celestina's head on it and started laughing for like 30 seconds.
Oh, Fax says, when am I going to upgrade the studio and Armani suit and throw on like Kevin Samuels? You know what's so funny about dealing with that, Tim, is that like I said, I personally like watching Kevin Samuels' thing. It's for the entertainment that the females offer. You see what I'm saying? Like when they call in saying delusional stuff, I can't, like, it's comedy to me, right? But once you start telling these guys, man, be high value for what purpose? Oh, to attract women, and then what? And get married with all the laws the way they are? Serious? I don't know, Tim. I think we're about to see a much bigger divide going in the next 10 years, man. You're gonna see, like, if you think the checkout is bad now, give it another 10 years, and what do you think you're gonna like, Tim? Have you talked to any of your guys in Canada about what are the stats, the ratio of men versus women in college?
I mean, I went to college here in Canada, and
how bad was it when you went?
So I did computer science. That was my degree, right? 4-year degree in computer science. The male to female ratio, Drex, was, I would say, it was 20-1. Entrance.
No shit. 20-1.
Yep. 20-1 guys to girls.
Okay. In the general campus, what was it?
God, I would say there was more women, but that's easy. That would be easy to really, like, because no college has ever put all their students in one place at the same time.
Agreed.
Right. So,
but you should get a vibe.
There's okay, so let's go to schools. So I could name all the major schools of my college. Right. So the nursing school. Well, Drex, the nursing school.
Of course.
Did I say more?
Right.
And you'd be like, well, no, there's a lot of male nurses. No, it's there's probably a bigger ratio of women to men in nursing than there is men to women in computer science. I think it'd be closer to 40-1.
Damn.
Women to men in nursing.
Damn.
Oh, yeah.
It's shocking.
Koopa put the TFM video in.
Yeah, I just saw it.
Yeah, I tagged Koopa because TFM described it as the body of a goblin.
Yeah.
So I was like, Koopa, oh, maybe Koopa would be into this. Oh, I broke Drexel.
Dude, look,
Also, a nice docs on your phone there. We caught it in the camera.
I don't want to vision Koopa clapping this African goblin doll from the back with Nicki Minaj portions. I have this vision in my head of him being like breathing heavy on a live chat, like I'm gonna go another round, guys. It's just
You a stupid hoe. You a stupid hoe. You a
Yeah.
stupid hoe.
could you imagine if the thing had voice?
Well, he put Celestina's head on it, and TFM
Oh,
I'm telling you, if you want to hear TFM just break down laugh, I've never heard the guy laugh that hard ever.
oh man. Oh god.
It sounded
Yeah,
like he put Celestina's head on it and just couldn't stop laughing.
I know that has to be common because I'm sure Phil. So wait, hold on. So TFM just got it like out of the box, right? He didn't know what it was gonna look like.
I guess
that-
I guess not. I'm not familiar. I don't watch a lot of TFM content. I'm not familiar with kind of his sex toy review or how he does it. So he I guess he posted a website he got it from. It wasn't Phil, because it's not a doll. It's not a doll. It's a bust.
Okay, so that would have actually been funnier if Phil sent it to him, being like yo TFM, you're gonna love this, and make sure that it's ass up, right? So he opens up the box, sees the Nicki Minaj ass, takes it out, and it's Celestina's face. Dude, that would have been the funniest thing ever, man. Like just a pure troll job. Like just oh god, I'll have to watch this video when I get off.
Absolutely. When you get off, huh? Phrasing.
Oh my goodness, poor
Oh
TFM.
god. All right, let me do the proper outro here. Been fucking around a little bit, but yeah, that's it for the show announcements. Like Drex, the show's moving in a great way. The out of the box WordPress website worked for us, right? I keep the security plugins updated. Fuck you, Maddox. Okay, let me hit the outro music because goddamn, this show should have ended like half an hour ago. Thanks again to Chronic for coming out and joining us. Drex,
Absolutely, thanks, Chronic.
Final thought to you.
Chronic, thanks for coming on. Guys, definitely go out there and look up everybody in the Warband. Great guys. We'll hopefully get some more of them on. Hope to get Taylor the Fiend on also, and we'll make that happen. So, Chronic, thanks again. Like I said, I've been a fan of yours for years now, and it's been great. It was a great show. So, hope you guys enjoy it. Leave your comments and let us know what you liked, what you didn't like. Let us know.
All right, everyone. See you next week. Stay frosty.
Peace.